up, everybody? Welcome to the Colorado Motorcycle Expo, one of the best motorcycle shows in the country. Been going on since the 70s. Glad it's very much alive here today. We got a lot of amazing custom motorcycles out there on the floor. And for the weekend, we're up here with Rider Justice with Chasing the Ride podcast. So if you want to hang out and listen to us talk too much to each other, you're in the right place. That's where we are. My name is Dumptruck again. I am one of the affiliates and brand ambassadors for Rider Justice. To my far left is Mr. Scott O'Sullivan.
Hello, hello. Hey, thank you for the Colorado Expo to have us. And we're going to have a great series of friends and guests today. And let's lead us off. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, sure. Hi. I'm your new favorite human. No. My name is Anna Varela. I live here in this neighborhood, and I'm one of the co-owners of Courtesy Moto Co.
I am Balogh. I live in the neighborhood with her, and I'm the other half of that business. So, yeah.
Nice. So one of the things we love just to talk about, and we've always kind of led off with, is first, what was your first experience in riding? What brought you to riding a motorcycle?
So I started riding in Joshua Tree on CT90s. Had always wanted to ride my whole life, and then just kind of leveled up from there, but never left the vintage Honda life. It was like a 74 CT, and then a 76 CB100, and then a 85 Rebel 250, and now I'm on a 97 1100 Spirit.
So you're pretty good at carburetors then.
Oh, I work on all of them on my own. That's why I'm starting a DIY motorcycle garage.
I love that. So when it came to your first motorcycle experience, what made you want to do it in the first place? Was it in your family, or is it just something you saw? It was like, I want to be that person?
Yeah, I've always just loved motorcycles. I think that they look cool. I love the lifestyle. I love being able to cruise anywhere, smell something good, pull over and take a bite. I think it's really freeing. I love it.
Well, it sounds like you're doing it right, because those are all the things I like to do on a motorcycle, especially the eating thing, if you can't tell. I make chefs feel really good about what they do.
And how about Brooks? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, how did I get into riding?
I mean, how did you start riding? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's see, I grew up around cars. My dad always had cars, Mustangs, working on them, souping them up. My first car was a Mustang, worked on it a ton. Was never allowed to have I always liked bikes, but my dad was a PA in the ER, and so I was not allowed to have a motorcycle until I left the house. So I didn't start riding until much later. I did grow up racing BMX, used to downhill bike a lot here, and then got into dirt biking, and then got a street bike later. Kind of always wanted one, and I had a buddy who was going to go to Thailand, and so she wanted to take the motorcycle class. She said, would you want to take it with me? I said, absolutely. And then I bought a Harley a week later, and I've been riding ever since, but immediately started working on bikes quite a bit, because I've been working on cars since a very young age, and so it was like pretty easy to switch to working on bikes. I mean, if you can build a car engine, you can build a bike engine, so yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of things are easier to reach.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And lighter.
Lighter, like you can pick up a motorcycle engine with your bare hands.
Yeah. So what was I know it's motorcycles, but what car is first? Because we're all also car enthusiasts here too, so.
So my first car, it was a 91 Mustang 5-liter ex-highway patrol car, which I still have,
Nice.
actually. I built, I did quite a bit of work on it when I was in high school, and then the first year out of high school between college, I built a new engine for it, redid all the whole drivetrain. This was pretty hot rodded out, got into a ton of trouble. My first year in college, I had no license because I got into a bunch of street racing trouble, and then since then I've had, a few other cars.
Consequences.
Should have been faster. If they can't catch you actually don't get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had a few other cars since then. I've got a van that we build and put the bikes in and take trips with that.
What year van?
It's a 2010 E350 Econoline with the V10 in it. It's pretty
Nice.
sweet.
I also have an Econoline.
Oh, nice.
73.
I've got
with the heart of a Mustang GT crate motor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's got that Holley Sniper EFI
Right on.
system on it, getting it rewired right now, which
Very
I
cool.
need because I don't have a car at home and it's snowing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally the best thing. We did a cross-country road trip with it, and that way we have a motorcycle chalk in there, and a bed. So anywhere we'd pull up, we could park anywhere, cruise through the city, not worry about parking or traffic, and get to know every city that we liked the way that we like to know it best. Again, just kind of exposed to the elements. If you hear a song, you hear live music, you can just pull up and enjoy it. So I really love the van life now.
Van life is amazing. You're new to the van life as well with the rig that you have now with Rider Justice with the Sprinter van. And it really does change like everything. It makes things way convenient. You can just do so much more. I lived on the road for a long time, and it sounds like you guys could anytime you wanted to.
Yeah. It's not like a super bougie van, but it gets the job done. It's got a heater, it's got a bed, it's got a vent fan. It's got a fridge full of beer, So.
Good enough for the girls he hangs out with. It's fine.
Yeah.
So while you're doing one of these travels, we were just talking about, what was your best misadventure? Like something always goes wrong, something happens. It's always kind of, those are the best stories from the trip.
I mean, a funny thing he and I always laugh about is that things always go right, actually. Yeah. We show up somewhere, we're like, hey, it's kind of dead here. 5 minutes later, there's a massive line. Everyone knows about the spot. We'll pull up to something, and it's like, oh, we actually are doing a cover charge now, but you guys are already in, so you can see this band live. Like, I just think everything we do, the adventure always works out.
I mean, not to be a downer, but misadventure, we were in New Orleans for New Year's Eve.
A lot of people have misadventures in New Orleans.
Well, do you remember it was New Year's on
New Year's
Bourbon
Eve
Street?
last year, when that whole thing happened with the guy running down the street, We still had a good time, but we were there.
A real downer.
We were there on a bike during that.
Fired.
So. Fired. Anyway. We were fine. We had a good time.
We did come home real fast after that. We're like, you know what? We survived one calamity this year already. Let's just go home. So
Just call that a win.
let's call it a win.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
One of the van trips I want to take is up Pacific Northwest. I haven't done that yet. As an adult, I did it as a kid. My dad was military. We traveled. We moved around quite a bit, but I haven't been Pacific Northwest as an adult, so I want to do that.
So my first time riding through Olympia National Park, it's basically the most northwestern national park you could find. I've been wanting to ride those roads for probably over 10 years. Sabine, my fiance, and I were on the motorcycle. We rode from New Orleans, going up to see family in Canada during the pandemic. So we're like going to the border or whatever. And on the way back, I was like, we have to ride these roads. And whenever you get through that national park, by the way, there's a ferry involved. I had no idea until suddenly the road stopped and there was a boat. I was like, babe, I guess we're getting on a ferry. GPS just took me there, and I was being lazy that day. But the roads out there are absolutely amazing. You will weep. It is that beautiful. I'm thinking about it right now, getting teary-eyed about how gorgeous it was. And there's a place called Lake Quinault, and it has a replica of the Yellowstone Lodge that's also there, built by the same people. I believe it's where Roosevelt signed national park documents.
Oh, wow.
It was also right there, and you can stay in that hotel. But there's a bunch of places to camp and set hip camps and stuff right around that. Lake Quinault, put that on your list.
Where is that exact? Is that in Oregon or is that in Canada?
That is in Washington.
In Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You want to go there. You can thank me later.
All right.
There's a Ferris wheel.
Nice.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a Ferris wheel?
So let's fast forward a little bit, and your new favorite human. How did you guys meet? How did that happen? Is it through the motorcycle world? Like, how does that work? And then we'll go to the next journey, which is what you're wearing, and we'll talk about that in a second.
So we met actually at the Denver Moto meetup, like a few years back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd been in the same group for years, but I mean, look at me, look at him. I never talked to the guy. No, we just had a lot on our plate and a lot of rides.
I wish you guys had more fun together.
We do. Actually, that's how I ended up hanging out with him. Is I made some highly inappropriate joke and he laughed the hardest. Yeah. And so I said,
like, mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one. And we've been riding together ever since. Honestly.
Yeah.
Bonding over mutual trauma. I think it's great. It's like, oh, you're weird too.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, before we talk a little bit more about motorcycles, one of the things that you have a cherished vehicle That was your Nissan, right? Yes. And tell me about, like, because you worked really hard on that, and so it's a great ride. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, something else that we have in common is we like old things.
Yeah.
And things that look cool as hell.
Well, she likes old things.
I love old things. And so when my last truck, my Colorado, got up there in the miles, he suggested I get a regular daily driver, just easy. But I didn't want that, did I?
Famous last
wanted
words.
an 85 Nissan 720 King Cab that he found on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm sure for a while he regretted it because he spent the entire summer totally restoring the undercarriage. The inside was already restored by the previous owner, and I mean, except for the external, like, natural patina, it's my dream vehicle. Thank you, Brooks. Part of the business is going to be he's just so capable, and I can't wait for people to be able to, like, learn how to work on these amazing, old, awesome cars.
Well, let's talk about that capability. So you obviously, through conversation, have a very in-depth mechanical and technical knowledge. Did that come from being raised in a family that plays with horsepower, or did you go somewhere to school and learn things? How'd you get that education?
I think it was both. It started with family. Like, my dad's still a gearhead to this day. So I grew up around him, always wrenching on stuff. Would help him a little bit as a kid, but then, as I got older and into cars, he was right there to help me and guide me. And then, as a kid, made other friends that were gearheads, and we'd learn together. I did go to vocational school for automotive for like a year in high school, and definitely picked up some things, but I'd say honestly mostly learned on my own, just trial and error. And this is kind of like pre-YouTube. You just had to figure things out, or the old guy down the street would help you learn something, right? And then fast forward to later now with YouTube and the internet, it's like the knowledge, the vastness of knowledge available is amazing, right? And so if you have the aptitude and the desire, I think it's easy to learn now. The knowledge is very attainable, whereas in the 90s it wasn't so attainable. But
the 90s, what are those?
Yeah. So
you weren't even
Keep
born
it down
yet.
over there.
So now let's talk about your love of the community. You guys meet at Denver Moto Meetup, and now you're on the verge, the cusp, of starting something really cool in Denver that's never existed. So let's talk about that. Tell me about your dream, the vague area where it's going to be, what it's going to look like. I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So I, since we've met, I used to have years ago a sort of dream idea to have, and this is very just an idea, was to have a brewery and hot rod shop. It was just a loose idea, right? Of some kind of multi-purpose thing where people could hang out and either wrench or just watch people wrench on stuff, a certain vibe. And then and then when we met, we started at a certain point discussing different business ideas and things, and it sort of, with her ideas as well, morphed into a motorcycle shop where, again, we could provide full service, oil changes, brakes, all that good stuff, but also, allow people to come in and rent time on a lift and have access to tools and somebody that might be more experienced to help them, guide them through doing, basic maintenance or whatever they might want to do on their bike, right? And then
Yeah, well, I'm really big in my regular work on third spaces and community spaces, and we were just talking about, right, how is it that you build that aptitude for these skills? It's to be in an environment that allows you to do that. Funny enough, being born in the 90s, by the time I was in high school, shop classes were cut everywhere. So if you had an interest, and if you didn't have that uncle or that someone that knew about machines and engines, you were never going to learn it unless you had access, to classes or money or whatever that might be. Or if you were a boy, you could walk up to a shop and say, hey, I want an apprenticeship and feel safe there. So having a space that's combining our interest of old things, historic buildings, the 5 Points neighborhood, it's an absolute honor to be working in that neighborhood. It's honestly an incredible community. Very few exist like it anymore in 5 Points. So all of those interests combine into an area that we say, hey, what if we create that space where others can, look over to someone else wrenching and go, hey, that gasket, it's reversed. That's the best part of life is is learning and messing up around people that are also trying, and I'm excited to get that started.
So tell us a little bit about the shop that you found and the history of it. And I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah, so it's a very old building. It was built in 1895. It's got a ton of cool history.
That was the 90s.
Yeah, the 1895.
Also a 95, also a 95. I'm partial.
Yeah. So, the earliest record besides its build date that we could find was on a early Sanborn fire map. It was, per that map was originally a blacksmith shop, carriage repair. They did paint and then just like storage, I guess. The next record we found of it was 1926. It was Bill Perry's Auto Service. And then in 31 turned into a gas station. And it was a gas station, from what I can tell, around through like 54. And then between 54 and now, there's, it was mostly still auto service. A long stint to that, it was called Courtesy Auto most recently. And then there's some gaps that we're not totally sure what happened in there. I think someone told us it was a furniture warehouse at some point, so who knows. But it's got really cool history. It was in the Green Book for, Negro motorists back in the day. So it's got some,
really cool.
Yeah, so it's got some.
Maybe explain that a little bit for listeners who don't understand what you just said, because that's really cool.
Yeah, so the Negro Motorist Green Book was a book for. It was published by Ford and I think just Ford. I can't remember who else published it back in the day. And it was like a directory of places in the United States where Negro motorists could feel safe traveling across the country, because this was during times when it might not have been safe everywhere for them, right? So, yeah, and that's a really cool, like, historic provenance for the building, and we want to, like, preserve as much of that heritage and stuff as we can, because we're both really into, like, the history of the building and the area and stuff, so yeah.
And so now it's morphed into, hopefully, paperwork finalized soon, and then what is the next step? Because it is a historic building. It looks like you maybe have, picked a name.
Yep.
So tell us about what your vision is for it and what you intend to do.
So yes, I am also a top 10% fan of Historic Denver. They do amazing work, and they already had their eyes set on this building because of its history in the Green Book, and obviously where it is. So 5 Points is called 5 Points because of this corner, Welton and 26th. Coffee on the Point was there. The Rossonian Historic Hotel is there. That's going to be reopening, and 715 Club. It still has its original sign. So 715 Club having its original sign got us thinking. People talk about this garage as courtesy. I mean, Larry's been running that for the last nearly 40 years. Oh, you guys are buying the Courtesy building. And I mean, why? In the same way that the business idea is not to remove a service, because it's been car service, so we're going to have car lifts there. If someone rolls up, hey, I've been coming here for 40 years to get XYZ done, you can still get that done there 100%, especially if you're a neighbor. So why take away that history? Instead, we're honoring it. Yeah. So with Larry's blessing, it's Courtesy Moto Co. Yep. Hence the name, hence the logo. And then we're going to bring back that 1930s aesthetic of when it was the night service station. And I really think that that's just an aesthetic and a time that everyone adores and loves in the mechanic world. So it all made sense. It just all made sense.
Yeah. So we all know nothing gets done in the motorcycle world without community.
Yeah.
Period. So since you have been in Denver, Colorado, how has the community helped foster that idea into a reality?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I as the community,
big questions. I got my shovel out. We're digging deep.
I actually love the transparency of this community, right? When people think of motorcyclists, they're like, we get the stereotype all the time, right? Big, scary, whatever, unfriendly. That is the farthest thing from this community. They're the nicest communities. There's so many organizations taking care of kids getting bullied or that need to raise funds for things. Poker runs are all about raising funds for foundations. And so the community has been nothing but extremely transparent. honest. We are running a survey that we've done since before even buying the building, so that we knew exactly what people wanted, and they've been 100% honest, and we've shifted a little bit of what we wanted to provide in the space because of that. We are also flyering the community immediately, having open office hours with them, so that we know that Five Points is unique in that it's a metro urban area, but it's right in a historic residential neighborhood. So it's a priority to us that the neighbors feel like this is for them as well. So it's been, I don't know, I feel like we talk about demand all the time, right? We're just going to do what people want us to do there, and we're happy to do it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to say exactly what will work best in the space.
Yeah.
I think we'll just let the community dictate that to an extent, right? We also have all of our ideas of things we want to do, but certain aspects of it might take precedence over others based on the demand we get from the community, and that's fine. Like we're all about that. And then in terms of support, we've had access to the building now for 4 months already. Because she made a really good relationship with the current owner, and so we've been able to get in there and get bids for things like flooring and HVAC, and the building needs a lot of work. So we've been able to get ahead of some of that and get quotes and things. And a lot of those people that we brought in are people from the community. So just the other day, a good friend of ours from the community came in and walked the space with me for a little over an hour and gave me insight into lighting design and electrical, and she put me in touch with some of her contacts to get plumbing drawings and engineering drawings and stuff. And another friend of ours from the community came in to give us quotes for HVAC. And
our architect from the very beginning, Megan, it wouldn't have been possible without her. And she's studying right now, but when she's done, she will remain being the architect. And Zach, you guys know him as well, will be like a designer in there. 100%. We're keeping it as local as possible when we can't find someone in the 5 Points area.
Yeah. So it's been really cool. A lot of people in the community seem to be super stoked for us and super excited about the possibilities. And so we can't wait. We're super excited.
I think it's really rad. And one thing that when I lived here, I loved being a part of the motorcycle community. And there's always a lot of support, I feel, from one motorcycle shop to the next. And is that what you're experiencing as you're looking to grow into your own brand?
For sure, yeah. I'm really good friends with G from 303 Moto, and
hate that guy. He hates
the
fun.
absolute best.
Yeah. And actually worked, helped him out over this past summer. He got pretty busy, and I was like, hey man, you need a hand wrenching, I'll do that. And so him and I work really well together, and he's super excited for us, and we've already hinted at the possibility of joining forces in the future and doing something. And we've met other people, like Cody last night was super supportive. Nobody has expressed disinterest in it.
Not to our face.
Anyway, so yeah.
One of the things that when I first heard about you and your idea is that it was also your vision of it being also almost like a club. Yeah, for people to come in and share stories, and you've got, a space that's in front of it that's rare, right? For bikes to be, for people to be, for the community to join up, and I that vision is lacking here. Like, you'll be the first to that, and we're just super excited to be a part of it. And I think it's one of those things where, like you said, in that neighborhood, it fits perfectly. And I would, as you were talking about the Green Book and all these other things, I wonder if eventually the Denver Historic Society can give you or find photos and stuff that you guys do. I know you guys already thought of this, but it just would be amazing.
We're actually on the same street. We're sharing a street with the 5 Points Black American Historic Museum, and so. The breadth of knowledge that you can find on the 5 Points area, Brooks and I have spent many an evening going through newspaper articles, writing in the address with typos, because that's how they were printed in the newspaper, and that's how we found about Bill Perry's and the night service station and amazing historic photos. And the thing is, every article about what this place has been this place is full of people, full of neighbors, happy to welcome them. They can't get enough people inside the building. I think that the thing about the 5 Points neighborhood is it's exactly that. even though for the last 40 years it's been auto service, it's always been full of friends. Larry and his guys have always just been all over the sidewalks, and I expect the same to happen for the motorcycle theme. Having it be like a space that you want to be working. You want to be on that call and go, oh, sorry, they're just wrenching on some motorcycles back there.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
a big part of your shop is DIY.
Yeah,
So let's lean into that. How does that work for you guys?
So we envision right now having like membership tiers where you can pay, I forget off the top of my head, but X amount a month, you'll get X amount of hours of lift time, and that includes access to specialty equipment, hand tools, and a lift, obviously, and, some guidance from somebody who might know more than you might know, right?
About a thing or two.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then, at certain tiers, you could include storage. So it's a dense area of Denver. A lot of people live in apartments. Their only parking solution is a parking garage or maybe only street parking. So this way they'll have a safe, dry environment to leave their bike, throughout the winter or just whenever, overnight. We envision, eventually letting people come and go, possibly 24 hours. A lot of that's going to depend on
A little fob system going on.
some kind of fob system, something like that. We potentially talked about long-term storage at a lower tier, but it's just a one-time check-in, one-time check-out, so it's not nearly as accessible. We've talked about the possibility of, partnering with a company like Twisted Road to offer rentals out of the space. So for people that are traveling and coming in, they can go right there, see, 5 bikes, let's say, and I want that one, and take it for the weekend and whatever.
Are you connected with them already?
We have, yes.
I'd been talking to them, and I think it's also the idea of having a one-stop shop for everything that you need. So your bike is down, but you don't want to miss out on that group ride that we're going to be doing that weekend. You can rent out a bike, try out something. I know that's what we use Twisted Road for, and it's to like get your feet on another bike, give it a try. I've learned that forward controls don't suit me, for example, and it turns out I can't reach. So I really think that like the DIY, I also really want to stress that. So the Denver Litas, I ride with them, and there are so many times that you walk into an environment as a chick and you're trying to ask a question and it might feel silly, or you get some guy going, oh, let me tell you about that. Let me get closer though while I do that.
Yes.
And I think it'd be awesome to have this space have at least a lift dedicated to the Litas, or just a lot of time for them, because I would love for so many of these chicks that I've been meeting throughout this process to be able to walk in and go, I feel super comfortable being able to ask those questions, make a few mistakes on the lift, and then be able to get the confidence to repair your own stuff.
Yeah.
I know what the leaders are. In case anyone out here doesn't know what the leaders are, let's talk about that, because it's an amazing group of women.
Yeah, we're. The Litas is a national group. We're actually meeting in Mexico City this November for our world meetup, because I guess we have Litas all over the world now. In Denver specifically, we are an aspirational group of hyper-capable women. I mean, everyone, if they're not starting a business, they're leveling up in their career. Everyone is extremely supportive and helpful. I've never met a better group of people. And now, in this project as well, we talked about funny things like a calendar to support the Litas lift, or bike washes, or trainings, workshops. We have leatherworking Litas, fabricating Litas, and even some of our other shops as well have chicks that are just super capable. And I'd love for them to be able to do workshops and trainings in our space so that people can see that we're all really interested in learning and gaining skills, no matter who you are.
And I think one of the things that's really amazing is actually the passion you guys have, because you have regular day jobs.
We do.
Wait, on top of all of this?
On top of all of
You
this.
guys are insane.
Yeah, so
You are Argentinian.
Tell us about that. I mean, seriously, like that's what is so impressive to me, and I think that's what's so impressive about most of the people here is there's this passion, but you also got your day job.
Yeah, so my day job is I work in tech. I started out, I went to college, didn't know what I was doing, partied too much, was always good at computers kind of naturally, and decided, hey, and I was a little artistic, so I thought, I should be a graphic designer.
Yes, you are artistic.
So I didn't say autistic.
I see what you did there.
I said artistic.
Oh,
Anyway.
sorry.
Anyway.
Whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say.
He's so special to me.
Wow. So let's see. So I decided to go to school, like a tech school for design, and half put myself through it. I mean, my parents paid for a lot of it. I had like a scholarship, and then I worked at an auto shop the whole time through it. And then kind of during that time, at the time, decided I didn't want to do auto work full time. I wanted to be, get an office job and whatever. And I've
Clearly he hit his head. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I started out doing graphic design, with a little bit of coding. Over the years, morphed into kind of doing strictly coding. And fast forward to now, I manage a team of 3 or 4 software developers, and we actually work in automotive marketing. So it's still kind of in the realm of things I know. But I've always had a passion for wrenching, and I've honestly at a point where I would love to not work that job anymore and just do what we're doing now. So, but yeah, that's still my day job as of now.
We'll black that part out so that you don't get fired. So.
No, do that. I need him to be.
It's like, oh no, let's get him fired. I can get you fired, but
it's fine. It's fine.
I've got lots of skills. That's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
And how about you?
My day job is extremely special to me, and actually in the building that we're in right now, I live and work in the Globeville, Elyria, Swansea neighborhoods. The building that we're in right now is nested in the original location of historic Elyria. What's happened in this neighborhood since it's existed since the 1800s is that it's always been the periphery outside of Denver. So tons of disinvestment, tons of industry coming in and really treating the neighbors like they don't matter. So there's a lot of investment that happens into local developments like the National Western Center, and the neighbors in the meantime have organized to be able to have neighbor-led solutions to recreating main streets. Can you guys imagine Brighton when you come into this complex looking like a historic main street ran by local people? I mean, we don't have barbershops, retail, mechanic shops. We don't have anything like that in this neighborhood because it was knocked down a long time ago. The highway expansion, I-70, knocked down 60 homes and businesses, and even the highway itself was made, when the Coliseum was made, right through the main street of 46. So the current organization I work for is fighting every single day to organize neighbors to have a community-owned land solution because we know we love a city, but they're busy and they're not going to build these locations and downtowns for us, but we're ready. We have a great solution. So the GES, Globeville, Elyria, Swansea Coalition, I'm blessed to be able to do that work. And the way that I can do it is because Brooks handles, I really want to shout out, Brooks handles every single thing when it comes to getting the quotes, getting the HVAC, talking to all these that in and of itself is a full-time job, and he's working so hard on that piece. And in the evenings, what I'm able to do is reach out to the community, create these surveys. I know about that because of the work that I do. So anytime I don't have a community meeting, Brooks and I are just head down. We call them like our working dates, right? And we're working on forms and loan stuff with SBA. And it's been amazing. And if this space becomes what I want it to be, then I will be able to do my co-working from there. I will be on calls, and I will say, sorry about that wrenching happening behind me, but I'm really happy about this space. Why don't we have our next meeting here? It's going to be epic.
So what about your personal history has driven you to focus so heavily on community? Because I know that's been a really big part of your life, even in California,
yes.
Because someone did research and shared it with me, and I can read, it turns out. But it's really, yeah, who knew? Public schools, yeah.
Yes, that's
but
right.
I'm really interested to be like, so what lit your fire for community and like connecting people?
My family is Argentinian, and in the Argentinian community, people know each other their whole lives, and they, even if they move neighborhoods, and these are very historic neighborhoods, and so when I grew up in Los Angeles, I noticed that there wasn't that sense of forever, not in the buildings and not in the communities that you had. So I was always driven to find a way to create community, and the best way to do that is to have an impact, an honest, authentic impact in the world that you're in. And I absolutely love giving back. I've done it forever, from Key Club in high school and organizing let's do a beach day. And we're all bringing trash bags. I couldn't help but make everything have a double reason to be doing that all the way through. I lived in Texas, and I worked during the Kids in Cages administration. I worked as a paralegal translating asylum cases for kids. And when I moved to Denver, I really wanted to be back in a Hispanic neighborhood. I'm Argentinian, and so when I found that this neighborhood is 80% Hispanic and 30% Spanish speaking, I knew I had to find my home here. Also in 1895. Again, I mean
90s.
the 90s, and I'm really partial to the era and this community. I just started asking around. At the time, the council person, Candy C. DeBaca, I was like, how do I get involved? How do I this? And she said, did you know you live in the same community as our neighborhood organizers? I got to have a few modelos with my neighborhood organizers, and now I work full time for them. So, I mean, I honestly think the answer is I'm authentic to the things that matter to me, and then the world just kind of opens doors and says, then you can work here and you can make an impact here.
So, like, being a part of the solution is heavy in motorcycling. You contribute massively to your local community and beyond. In a lot of great ways. Having that background and then finding the motorcycle community, how much of that do you find translates to what you're wanting to do with Courtesy Moto?
Everyone is down. Every motorcycle rider is down to support us, to support our neighbors, to support the vision. If you're on the side of the road, how many times you're on the side of the road just checking something? 5 bikers will, hey, are you okay?
Absolutely.
Are you okay? I mean, the community is the best. I mean, I can't think of a better business to start than one where everyone is your biggest supporter. And they really are going to support the idea of like neighbors first model, and they've always made room for that. So if we can make the 5 Points neighborhood really understand that bikers are your best neighbor, I mean, that would be everything all in one.
I mean, if you ask us, we really are.
We are the best neighbors. We are. We're like, what's that pebble doing in this sidewalk? You know,
Yes,
move it over, get rid of
absolutely.
the trash, clean it up. Yeah.
So you have other plans for that space as well, right? You're going to be lowering some ears and trimming some mustaches. And
Yeah. So we're working with a good friend of ours, Ryan Mack from the community, who I met years ago at Denver Moto Meetup. He's been cutting hair now for a few years. When I met him, he was in software sales, so similar story. He like wanted to get out of that industry and do something else. He put himself through school, barber school, I think 3 years ago now, and has been since running a shop down in Inglewood. And he wants to come on, and we're gonna, we carved out some space in the building for him, and we're gonna have a barbershop set up in there. So he plans on doing like 3 chairs, a wash sink, so a full-on little shop inside the space. Yeah.
I'm excited to see that part, Scott, because I already know that they are going to put that historic vibe into the barbershop side
for
of things.
sure, yeah.
I mean, the
Totally.
chairs alone, I love old stuff.
Yeah, so he's already
Love it.
bought, I think, 1 or 2 chairs. He's just finding them used, like old-style ones, and they're sitting in his garage right now, just
That's so cool.
waiting for us to get the keys so he can start setting things up. Yeah, so it's cool.
Yeah, we'd like to use as many salvage materials as well, antique materials. We're talking right now about the garage doors that we have to redo. They're all original, minus probably that main one.
Yeah.
But we really are working with local fab as well to be able to redo the doors so that they're historic, but also maybe like going back a little further, right? Doing that kind of garage service
so
station
we want them
look.
to kind of look. We would like to bring the vibe of the building looking like it did in the 30s. Service station, but modern security,
Secure.
right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
So I want the doors to look old, but they're going to be very, new and secure, and
So
probably
don't try
open in a
us. Do
different
not try
fashion.
us.
But walking by it would look old. That's the idea, anyway.
Sounds like you've got a pretty cool idea of what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, what has been your 2 questions? What has been your favorite and your least favorite part of mapping out and planning out the stages of the build to be able to open this building? It's massive. To learn that you have a real full-time day job, and you're basically a general contractor for a historic building, and you also have all the other activations with it. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's been a big learning process. I had an older home back in Florida that I did a lot of work on and would contract myself. I have a home here in Arvada that I did quite a bit of work on, but I've never done anything commercial or on this scale or this old. So it's been a big learning process. Sometimes it feels like it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, where I go to get, 1 quote from somebody, and this person says, I actually need this other thing first. So then I'll go do that. And then this guy says, I actually need this other thing first. So I'm learning
The trade shuffle.
Yeah, so I'm learning the order of operations and who needs what and when and how. And yeah, it's been fun, but a learning exercise.
Do you think that builds your confidence the more you learn through this process?
For sure, yeah. It's fun. I love to learn. I've always loved to learn, especially hands-on type things. So it's fun. I can't wait to also get in there and get my hands dirty because I plan on doing as much as I can myself. So
Well,
yeah.
I mean, and long term, we've fantasized about like really imagining this as a project that does take off, because it will, and it goes well, is like with these skills, we could do this throughout Denver and beyond, right? Finding historic, maybe a little bit derelict, unloved properties that need a little bit of activation and deserve that historic preservation so that we can create more third spaces, right? So again, third spaces is you have home, you have work, and you have all these places that used to exist, right? So you have libraries and free spaces. Like you could just walk into the shop and chill and hang out. And we really want to be able to do that in some future with this skills, because I feel like if we're going to learn these skills, may as well do it again.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That's really
But
cool to think about.
Third or fourth time, you'll nail it.
Yeah.
we're nailing it now, Scott. Now there's no room for error. That's my least favorite part of it, is that because there is like real bank loans and things happening and timelines and commercial property contracts. If you don't have XYZ inspection by this date, party's
Yeah.
over. That's my least favorite part, because otherwise we would take our time. We'd meet up with Historic Denver more. We'd do everything in the right order. But things are just going to have to happen on a capitalist timeline first, and then we can slow down and take a back seat to what that building really needs from us and the neighborhood as well.
So, I'm going to get a little geeky. So one of my favorite sort of columnists, thought leaders, his name is David Brooks, conservative columnist for the New York Times, and he talks about community a lot. And he just wrote his last column for the New York Times, and it resonated with me in so many ways, and I'll share it with you because it's literally exactly what you're doing. And it's going to take people like yourselves, people like everybody here, the makers, the builders, everybody else, to create community. That's what you touched on last night, and it's super important. And I've never heard it called third spaces, and I really like that. And it's just so important because we've lost a lot of community for various reasons. And being that place that you can go, hang out, bullshit with somebody, and feel safe and make friends that you never would have made. Because in the end, it's all about friendships. It's all about, that's how you lead your best life, right? Is the friendships that you make along the way. And it's going to be a great opportunity as you guys do that. I'm really proud of you.
And I think, I'm with you on that. If anyone's not, you're boring. But to create that community space, that third space, like I love what we were talking about before with the access to information, with the interwebs and all that kind of stuff. If you are getting mechanical advice off of YouTube, take it with a grain of salt.
100%.
And make sure you have Courtesy Moto on speed dial for when you've gone too far.
Yeah.
The greatest tool that I have when I'm working on my own motorcycles is my phone.
Yeah.
Bro, you need to come over.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm making lasagna. Like, come fix my stuff. But it's really great to have access to that information. But I also think that that's a part of what has disconnected us.
Oh, for sure.
From the tangible version of that, which is the older generations who have all of this great knowledge. And I almost feel like the internet took that away. And we've replaced what our elders how they used to serve our community. They used to be our therapists before therapists.
Yeah.
They used to be the ones where if we needed an answer, that's where you went and found it. Now you grab your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go grab an encyclopedia book anymore. You don't do any of those things.
Yeah, I agree. And I came up during a time, like, I didn't grow up with a computer. But
Neither of us did.
but
There were no cell phones. We had dial tones.
But like I came of age, like in high school was kind of when the internet was becoming a thing. So it's like, I totally remember not having it, but I kind of grew up with it. So it's like, it's I'm right there in the middle. And I agree that like there's been pros and cons to it. And yeah, it's kind of hurt real world community. And yeah, we hope to sort of, build a space that everyone is welcome. And if some older guys or women want to come in and share that knowledge and they're not on the internet, that'd be amazing.
Bro, sign me up.
Yeah.
Workshop?
Yeah.
Heck, yes.
And we definitely want to have, workshops and things like, Wrenching Wednesdays that Ernie and team put together. We'd love to host that or something similar one day. We also just want to be able to like host little events in there. little comedy show. We love
We're
stand-up comedy.
obsessed with comedy, and
Yeah,
I would
same.
just love to see all our buddies in there and just ripping on the dirty bikes, being like,
yeah.
"What happened there?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I love it. I love the idea.
You guys definitely have to. That's a perfect space for the Don't Tell comedy.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. We've
Which
already
I-
talked to
yeah.
BK, runs that in Denver, and he's totally on board with like doing that there. And yeah.
Yeah, and then I think there's a ton of like independent as well comics that are just so smart about thinking about fun ways to make things, an open mic or otherwise. There's just, again, this 5 Points really deserves to have as many artists and creators come into that space and to have environments. I mean, we're across from Cervantes. The 715 Club has all kinds of themed events. There's that entire Welton corridor really deserves some love. So if you have time to check out the 5 Points area, please do.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So one of the things we forgot to talk about ahead of time is we always try to ask a final fun question. Yeah. Other year we've asked like, what's your favorite road food? And we've asked some other questions. I think this time, maybe we try it on you, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Is what is your guilty listening, like, or music, or something?
That's a
you
good
listen
one,
to?
Scott. That's a good one.
Like, wouldn't necessarily go advertise.
I'll put it to you this way. Whenever I would go to Sturgis, and I've been going there since like '08, and I would leave, when you're at any motorcycle rally, it's kind of the same playlist that's in the background everywhere you go. Not gonna lie, I'm like, where is the pop radio station? I need Britney Spears, who doesn't play. This is a long time ago. Whenever I would do this, but like I would just look for the opposite of what I was just experiencing, and I was really glad no one else could experience it with me, for street cred purposes.
Man, my guilty music pleasure that I probably wouldn't want to
You're
share.
smiling. This is gonna be
would
good.
be like Death Cab for Cutie. Not at all what the motorcycle crowd listens to, but honestly, those guys are great. I love the old stuff. I know they're still around. I don't listen to new stuff, but man, I grew up listening to them, and they're great. That genre I'm into, sort of secretly. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you're right. I'm not ashamed of it. Like, we'll come home after going to a dive bar somewhere and just put, like, Biggie Smalls, and he'll rap an entire album to me.
Yeah.
And like, he knows every single word, and that's not something you can do publicly either. But I thought it was going to be that one. No, mine would have to be house. I mean, I love it. I'm open about it. I'm, like, not hiding, but also I understand I could never openly play the kind of house music I want in an environment. Someone would have to unplug it and be like, enough. No more. We're not at a festival, and I could listen to it all day, right? Sometimes he'll come in and the music, he's like, oh God.
Yeah, I have to put my headphones on just to not hear it. But
I definitely have a strategy when I roll up to anybody's house or a bar or a stop sign and there's people walking around. I'm like, nope, y'all don't need to listen to what I'm listening to. Let me turn my Bluetooth on real quick.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Mine is like is kind of like what you were talking about. Is a little bit on the poppy side, but it could be like Miley Cyrus, and like that chick can rock. Actually, I mean, she rocks. And now lately, it's just kind of fun to say, but they are like a genre of 90s meets now, and it's this English band called Wet Leg. Check it out, and they are hilarious
Wet
lyrics, and they are just it's this thing. It just works, and saw them in concert here at the Mission Ballroom, and it was just, I mean, yeah, it's perfect. And I listened to it, and my boys are like, what are you doing? You're a grown man. You're like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I make the rules. I'm doing what I want. You'll get there.
Exactly.
I get down, dang it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, guys, we really appreciate it. Thank you for helping us kick off our first ever on stage here,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
And I want to say before you, because I know you're so humble, Scott, to the Rider Justice team, for real, from before this concept, you guys have supported every conversation. You've heard every idea. You've really worked through some of the kinks. You've shared with us your amazing connections, your team. Like, you've really just been there when this was just a little glimmer in like our dreams. And we're going to be closing like on the 1st of April, and it's only possible because we have this community, and you are like such a core to this community. So thank you, Scott. Thank you to the Rider Justice team, all of you guys. For real, we couldn't do this if we had any other support system. So thank you for having us and giving us this opportunity.
That was very kind. Thank you.
Yeah. It's honest. It's real.
Rider Justice is a very real resource. It's not just the one you call when you've had an oh shit moment. They're also the ones that you call when you need some kind of real advice, whether what kind of insurance coverage do I need on my motorcycle to protect myself, or how do I navigate these complicated contracts. We're very much here for a community. If you want to find out more information, riderjustice.com. And this has been another episode of Chasing the Ride.